question. How do I manifest my dream life? I mean, this is a really, really big question. If you're new here, my name is Pajikigi. I'm a quantum energy healer helping you unlock your highest potential through the quantum field. Here's how I'm going to break this down. We're going to go in stages in terms of the manifesting journey as a whole and what you might encounter and what might pop up and what's actually happening during these different phases. So, number one, that spark of, ooh, I want, that spark of desire, the spark of even like, I do not have, how do I get there? Right? That is setting upon this like life or setting up this lifelong question of how do I become the version of myself who remembers that I can create the life that I want? How do I remember my power? How do I remember my potential? How do I remember the fact that I am the creator, that I have the power to create anything that I want? Okay. So the question really is in manifesting the life that you want, how do I remember that I have the power to do that? Okay. So that's really the first stage. And this leads us to things like, ooh, the visualization, the affirmations, the mindset, all of the stuff, the get rich quick schemes, the weight loss scheme, all of these things, right? That we're told that we need to do in order to be able to manifest that life, or in order for us to remember how amazing and brilliant and limitless we are, which is all true. Right. So we go on this journey of doing all of these things, of trying to heal ourselves and all of these things in order to become the version of ourselves who can create that life. Right. But then there comes another level to this. Once we start doing those things, maybe we manifest a few things and it feels good. Maybe, we're just, it takes us deeper into spirituality. It takes us deeper into asking the deeper questions about this reality, which is amazing. That's exactly what happened for me. Okay. And then we get to this point where we hit a roadblock. Okay. And sometimes this happens sooner, sometimes this happens a little later. We hit some sort of roadblock that we can't quite figure out with our head, right? That we can't quite figure out with just these strategies or with, following what other people did or visualization or even certain kinds of healing modalities and things like that, that we can't quite figure out. And we feel this, we hit up against this limitation within ourselves. We go, ooh, what is this? Okay. And then that begs the question, at least this is what it did for me, of like, wait a second. Okay. How do I become the version of myself who doesn't run into these kinds of blocks? Okay. Because these could also be blocks within yourself. They usually are. Okay. Blocks in terms of, ooh, I can't put myself out there like that person. Ooh, I can't show up with a confidence like that person. In order for me to be able to do all these things, I need to be able to show up with confidence. In order for me to be able to, like, sell my goods and services, I need to be able to like put myself out there, right? Why is it that I'm not able to do these kinds of things that other people seemingly are able to do who have the life that we want? Right. And then we start getting more into, at least if you really go on this journey at a deeper level, the identity part of manifesting, which is, how do I become the version of myself who can actually manifest the things? And then we realize that as we visualize and as we affirm and as we journal, right? It's not quite feeling connected. Like I don't quite believe myself as I set these huge intentions for myself. I don't quite believe that there is an actual pathway in order for me to get there, because I feel like this disconnect deep down inside. All right. And that leads to a deeper part of the journey. And this is really the crux of the journey. This is really where the hero's journey actually begins. Okay. Which is the deconstruction of self, or of the false identity of the ego, in order for you to remember your power, in order for you to remember the limitlessness that runs through you. Remember that connection with your higher self and source. Remember, on the first premise being, your higher self knows what your best possible life is. Your higher self knows what your dream life is. It's not going to tell you necessarily with your head right now. Okay, because you need to go on this journey of discovery. This is where your hero's journey really, really begins, breaking down who the heck you think you are. And it is a process of destruction. It truly, truly is. And this is why most people get stuck on their manifesting journey. They are not willing to go through the process of destruction. They basically just want to stay exactly the same, just change a few little things here and maybe work like 10% harder, right? But basically be comfortable, basically be who you are, and just all of a sudden have a $10 million house. And if you actually ask yourself honestly, and I'm in the practice of doing this for myself, right? So this is not me being hard on you. This is actually the process I went through in order for me to even do the work that I'm doing. Ask yourself, am I really the person who could actually handle $10 million, $1 million, $500,000, $250,000, right? Not, I want to be exactly me with all my limitations and all my fears and all of the questions and the self doubt and everything like that. And then I want everything on top of that. That would be no fun, right? Again, our journey is really about remembering how limitless we are. That is the whole point of this journey. Okay, most people think it's the external stuff. They think it's they think it's all these things that's going to prove to them externally that they are limitless without actually embodying and knowing the limitlessness within them first. But that is truly the gift. Right. On my manifesting journey, as I went from $2,000 a month and being like, I have no idea how to make more money. I don't even know what my give. I mean, I know that I'm talented. I know I have gifts, but I don't know what they are. I don't know my purpose. I don't know any of these things. Right. And on my journey to becoming a more whole version of myself, then all of a sudden the universe actually delivered what that image or what that life would be for me, gave me the gifts, gave me the downloads, right? Delivered all of the people that I needed, delivered the resources, the timing, all of these things. But I couldn't see it beforehand and I had to deconstruct myself. Like I had to actually deconstruct who I was in order for me to remember more of who I actually am. Okay. Who I was, the person who was people pleasing, the person who didn't know how to create boundaries, the person who was always giving herself away, the person who didn't know her value, the person who second guessed herself all the time, the person who was so freaking scared of being in social situations, the person who was scared of putting herself out there. Okay. Like originally I thought, no, I want to just be that person and just give me all the things because I wanted those things to prove to me that I wasn't so bad. Okay. I wanted those things to make me feel better. When really the journey for me, and I realized this, right, was, oh, shoot. Okay. No, 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 no. I can't be this version of self to manifest this. Like, I actually have to deconstruct who I think I am, all of these things that I talked about, release all of that garbage, and then actually evolve as a human being, okay, to become an energetic match for the life that I actually want. Does this make sense? Most people just want to solve the external to solve what's missing internally. But that journey that I made, the most valuable part of that journey was the internal part of remembering more of who the freak I am. Okay. That is why we are here. That is what our soul craves. We just think it's these other things that are materialized in our physical reality. And yes, those things are amazing. Okay. But this is also why I go back to another video that I created on this, where if you just stayed exactly the way you were and then you were given all the external things that you wanted, you would actually be more depressed. You would actually be more dissatisfied. It would actually not feel good because you weren't given the opportunity. You weren't given the carrot on the stick to go on this real journey that you actually wanted to go on, which is to become the bright, brilliant, vibrant, purposeful, fulfilled, happy, joyful, whole, right? Confident person that you actually want to be. And then just have your external reality then become the benefit. You see what I'm saying? And so this is why I always talk about manifesting from a journey of embodiment because you don't just want the things, guys. You actually, what you really crave is you crave being the person who can have the things, and then you can create the things, and then you can enjoy the things. Okay. And then the things just reflect your brilliance, not the other way around. The things aren't trying to make up for what you are lacking inside, which means this never ending hamster wheel of just more and more things that just feeds the emptiness inside. So, anyway, going back, okay, I thought that this was going to be my dream life over here. And I had very, very clear ideas of what that was going to be, right? Oh, I'm going to be an actor and then I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to have that kind of house and I'm going to have this, all these things that I was externalizing, that I was trying to like conjure up in my mind, in my mind's eye, and I would visualize and be like, "Oh my god, I can have those things. Just visualize it to me with while staying the same person." And that can work to a degree, but it doesn't work long term. Okay? It doesn't manifest long term. Like it doesn't lead to long-term benefits. But anyway, so I thought that I wanted this vision over here. But then as I actually took this journey, letting go of the low self-worth, letting go of the people please, letting go of the burden, letting go of the guilt, letting go of who I thought I was, more confidence, more wholeness, right? Just higher frequency, better version of self. All of a sudden, I let go of this. This actually just naturally sort of fell away and a new vision appeared. But that vision was not created with my mind. That vision was created with my higher self. Because my higher self then went, "Oh, okay. No, okay, got it. She's energetically ready now. We can deliver it to her." You see what I'm saying? But the only thing that I had real control over was becoming the version of self who could then be a match to a higher level thing. And it's so crazy because when you go on this ultimate journey, it's amazing how the things you thought you wanted so freaking badly, they actually don't even compare to the possibilities that are actually possible for you when you become a higher version of self. And let me caveat this, okay, by saying some of you guys, that vision that you have of yourselves is the right vision. You are on the right path. That is what's meant for you. You are meant for all of it. And your higher self might be giving you that breadcrumb right now because you're ready to be given the breadcrumb. Or let me just pose this for you. I thought I wanted those things. And so maybe my higher self seeded that desire because that was the desire I needed to hook onto in order for me to take the path that would lead me to this other thing. Does this make sense? Like, if, let's say, I didn't go on this path of thinking that I wanted to be this actress, of thinking that I wanted all these other things in my reality and all that, I probably wouldn't have actually landed where I am right now because I wouldn't have done those things. I wouldn't have learned the skills that I needed to learn in order to do what I do now, right? I wouldn't have put myself out there in the way that I need to in order to do what I do now. Okay. So does this make sense? So I'm not saying deny your desires right now. That is not what I am saying. I'm actually saying to you that your desires could literally be the seed from your higher self going, yes, we are planting this desire because we need to open you up to something. We need to open you up to either a skill set or a way of doing things or a way of looking at things or certain talents and skills and everything like that. So that when you're energetically ready, boom, we can actually deliver the real gift to you. And maybe that real gift is exactly what you saw in the beginning, but maybe it's not. Okay. So that's a really important part of this whole concept of manifesting your dream life is let's keep an open mind that your dream life might not be the life that you think is your dream life. It might be something way better. It might be something so much more aligned. Okay, because this could actually stop you in your manifesting journey. And I see this with people who are really based in a lot of control and fear is they hook on to this thing and they've hooked on to it for years and years. And that was me. Okay. So I can recognize it in myself. All right. And they hook on, they hook on, they hook on, they hook on, and they will not let it go. Even when their higher self is like, okay, you can let it go now. It's time. You learned what you needed to learn. You did what you needed to do. Let go. Let go. We want to deliver something else. Right. And they're still like, no, it has to be this thing. And they're actually preventing the new, better possibility from actually coming in. Okay. So if that resonates with you, I want to plant that seed into you to go like, okay, well, maybe there's other possibilities out there that maybe I should be keeping, you know, myself open to. Because if you would have told me that I was going to be a quantum energy healer and I was going to be reading people's energetic fields and helping them release their patterns and their blocks and being able to see all sorts of things in them, um, 2.5 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have literally thrown poop at your face and I would have been like, okay, stop making fun of me because that's not even funny. They're like, "Oh yeah, and you're gonna be a business owner and all these things is gonna happen for you." And I've been like, "Stop! Like you're actually being mean right now." Like it was so out of the realm of possibility in my mind. So out of the realm. But this is what happens, guys, when you actually just focus on the accelerated path of becoming your highest self. Your higher self will surprise you with shit. It will deliver things from left field. Right? And also you have to, stay open to new, right? And it's not about you just sitting around meditating. No. There's an actual real journey that you need to go on, a real blueprint that you need to go on in order to understand how to become that highest version of self. And when you take that journey and you commit to that journey and that becomes your sole focus, it's amazing the way your higher self will deliver to you because now you and your higher self are on the same journey. Now you and your higher self are aligned on the same journey, which is the journey that you were always meant to take, which is the journey, which is the reason why you are here, which is becoming the highest version of self. Remembering your limitlessness in this limited density. That is the highest journey. That is the path that you are meant to walk on. However, that looks. If you're an artist, okay, if you're a business professional, if you're a professional, if you're in corporate, if it doesn't really matter. If you're a mom, it literally doesn't really matter actually what that path looks like from a physical perspective. It doesn't actually matter. Um, and we all have our own presets and we all have our own natural gifts and codes of abundance and all of these things. Okay. We all have them. But the actual journey our soul craves to go on is becoming the highest version of self. That is our purpose. That is literally our purpose is to become the highest version of self here. And then when we do that and when we're working with our higher self now, because we're like, hey, I'm on the right path here. I get it. I get what this whole thing is about. Our higher self can communicate with us. Our higher self can deliver to us. Okay. Because we are now in alignment. Now, being in alignment on this manifesting journey doesn't just mean boom, 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 boom. Yay. I'm like walking on a rainbow. I mean, it can feel like that sometimes. And you're like, whoa, a lot of synchronicities is insane. Okay. No, it means you are going to be forced to grow. It means you are going to be forced again to learn the lessons that you need to learn in order to then what? Become that highest version of you. Like, even though I am on this path and I teach this path to people and I live by this, I still hit up against challenges. I still hit up against questions. The difference is I'm a lot quick, like I know the process and I know what's happening. So it doesn't take me as long to understand what my higher self is asking me to do or what the universe is throwing into my reality so that I can learn. Right? Like I understand the process. Does that make sense? But when you go on this manifesting journey, when you go on this growth journey and you are willing to deconstruct Again, all of who you are not, the people pleasing, the low self worth, the non deserving. Okay. All the resentment that you're holding on to, the past trauma that you're holding on to, right? Even the subconscious beliefs and all of the energy that you have taken on from your lineage and through past lives and alternate lives and all of that stuff as you deconstruct what is not you, chipping away what is not you, and you become a higher, clear version of you. That is when you are going to manifest the life of your dreams. You are going to be able to manifest so beyond what you even think is possible right now. Because what you think is possible right now, guys, is from a limited version of you now. But when you become the more limitless version of you in a month, in 2 months from now, what is possible for you is going to change. Does this make sense? Right. So, manifesting your most incredible, amazing, juicy life is really about manifesting your most amazing, limitless, purposeful, abundant, expansive, confident, powerful self. They go hand in hand if you are doing manifesting from embodiment. Now, you can manifest from not from embodiment, right? You can manifest, and this is what most people teach you, how to pull certain things into your reality, right? But then notice that when you do this, because everyone has done this, right? I had done it a couple of times in some cool ways, but then I would always get stuck because of my patterns and the energetic blocks and all that stuff. But anyway, and you can manifest things, but notice how like it fades. Notice how like the impact of it isn't really that lasting. Like it doesn't fulfill you. It doesn't feel as expansive as you thought it was going to make you feel. Notice how it always felt like it wasn't quite a match for you. Like you weren't quite, like you just kind of got lucky or is like a one-off thing, but you don't feel secure in it. It doesn't feel like stable. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a difference, right? That's like manifesting because you're just like pulling that one thing into your field, and then it usually dissipates or usually disappears or usually falls off or whatever it is, okay? Which is still amazing, guys. Like I told you, like you are the creator of your reality. You could do all those things, but I'm just going to throw in this little wrench here that what if like those little things you're trying to manifest right now, they're actually distracting you from the real big thing that you actually want to manifest, that your soul craves, that your soul really wants. And that what if those things that you wanting to manifest right from your head are is actually just driven from low self-worth. It's actually driven from a lack of trust in your higher self. It's driven from a lack of connection with your higher self. It's just driven from your insecurities. Okay? Because if you get honest with yourself and you ask yourself that question, then it's a matter of you actually dealing with those insecurities. It's a matter of you dealing with whatever's energy in there that is informing those attachments in your brain of like, oh my God, once I do that, then X. Because I will tell you from someone who manifested 7 figures in 15 months in her first 15 months in business, someone who manifested like 400K plus followers on Instagram within like less than 2 years, like someone who manifested these things, those aren't really the reward. Like those one-off things, those one-off wins are not really the reward. The real reward is within you. That's what you're actually looking for. Now, of course, you always want like it to be reflected in your physical reality because you almost like want that proof that wait a second, like I have evolved, right? But if you are on this journey and you know like what the process is to become your highest version of self, it has to show up in your physical reality. You can't necessarily control when, but it has to. And if you know that it has to, and it's still not quite showing up, let's say, okay, and you've been doing so many things. Number one, again, ask yourself, are you blocking yourself by focusing on these manifestations over here when actually the real thing is over here? Are you actually blocking yourself from being able to receive bigger? Okay. Or is there something that you're not actually wanting to face? Is there something that you're not willing to see? Some insecurity, some fear that you are not willing to actually dive into within yourself and do the real hard work, right? Another thing is, this happens a lot of the times as well with like let's say people who are overachievers. I know because I am one of these people. Okay. Um, what can happen sometimes is, because you want what you want in a controlled fashion, you're unwilling to let go of the possibility that things can come in a different kind of way. So you're holding on to old ways of doing things, old ways of controlling things, old ways of pushing, old ways of working your butt, old ways of whatever it is that you're doing in order to create a result. When your higher self is like, knock, 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 that old way of creating a result isn't going to work anymore. You got to change it up. Like, there's a new paradigm for you if only you're willing to let go of your fear, let go of your control for it to come into your field, because the energy change always happens first, and then we get the inspiration, and then we get the motivation, and then we get the energy, and then we get the synchronicities, and then we get the people. But the energetic shift happens first. So always ask yourself, if my higher self were trying to send me a message, right? We're trying to send me a message with the resistance that I'm getting in manifesting. What message would it be trying to send me? Is it that I am too controlling? Is it that I am too fearful? Is it that I give myself away too much? Is it that I people please? Is it that I don't know how to have boundaries? Is it that I don't believe in myself? Is it that I have too much low self worth? Is it that I give my power away all the time? What is it? What is the lesson? What is it trying to tell you? What is it trying to show you? Because we hit up against resistance because we are unwilling to actually process through and release and face the things that we are being asked to face and release. Right. But if you focus on becoming the highest version of you guys, the life of your dreams is is already there. You've already arrived in it, and it's just on the other side. It's so amazing because honestly, when you just energetically shift, it's amazing how your perception naturally changes around things. Strategies you thought were really stupid a month ago, all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, yeah, okay, I can see how that makes it work, because again, you're now aligned to making it work. But most people just want to focus on the thing. They don't want to focus, or they don't spend any time becoming the person who can actually make that thing work. So, anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful. If you want to join in the high frequency container quantum circle, my new community, I'm super excited about this. This is where we can elevate together faster as a community, become a higher versions of ourselves together. I will leave that link below. Quantum circle is where I do a one live group clearing every month and one live recorded clearing every month. And we have Quantum Circle exclusive frequency clearing programs, which are super powerful, super life changing. So I hope to see you guys there. And until next time, take care of yourselves.